Hello, this is Edith Newmeyer, and I am the author of the book, The Mystery of Adam. I'm going to have to do another video on the 3 days of darkness. And I want to start from the beginning to let you know I do not like fear-mongering. Okay? People that have followed me on my videos know that I do not like fear-mongering. Okay? We do not have to be afraid. If we belong to Jesus, if we know that He died for us on the cross, that our sins are forgiven, that we are following as our bridegroom, then we do not have to be afraid of anything that is going to happen soon. And I will tell you today, it's going to happen soon. People are being deceived, very deceived. I've had one of my listeners commenting and sending me some copy or references to people that were talking about these 3 days of darkness and are trying to warn people not to listen to these false teachers. I listened to the lady, and the things that I see is, if you do not have a clear understanding of the end times, okay, end time prophecy, you will get everything messed up, no matter what you're hearing. And we should never, ever, of course, listen to anybody unless we can back up with Bible scripture. Now, there are some things, of course, the Bible is not telling us every detail. The Bible is not telling us every detail. Okay? Some things we just have to also learn through watching what's going on outside. When Revelation talks about the wrath of God in the 7 trumpets, which is if you start reading chapter 8 through 11, you get the understanding, the 7 trumpets, that is the wrath of God. Okay? When we read, or you can also read chapter 16, the 7 bowls. When you read those 7 trumpets, you get an understanding of the things that are going to happen. But it does not give you an explanation why these things happen. Okay? When it says, of course, when it says a burning star is hitting the earth, you can imagine it's a meteor. Okay? It's not a star, it's not a star. It's a meteor. Okay? Asteroid. Okay? Do you understand? So God is not writing in there, oh, no, we're going to be hit by an asteroid. No. Okay? It's a star. A star is going to hit. Okay? So when you're hearing that stars are falling, it's not the real stars, it's asteroids. Okay? We know that today. So people, we have to really think. We're not living 2,000 years ago. We're living in today's day. And so therefore, we have to think about, or we have to incorporate what is happening today with the prophecies. Okay? Can't say, Revelation is not talking about a pole shift, so pole shift cannot happen. Okay? They had earthquakes during that time, so they used the word earthquake. Okay? That was not a problem. But did they have the understanding of what a pole shift is? Of course not. So what did they say? Is it possible that when we read in Revelation 6, in the 6th seal, that the sky will roll up like a scroll, that could be a pole shift? Of course. So we don't know everything from the Bible. Okay? We don't know everything from the Bible. Okay? There's things that we have to put our mind to it and our observation. Somebody told me, well, Daniel didn't understand everything. Yes, Daniel didn't understand everything. But God says knowledge will increase. And then when knowledge increases, we will understand most of it. Okay, so use the knowledge that will increase to understand these biblical prophecies. You're just going to have to do that. Okay, and that's what I am trying to do. I'm trying to bring in things that are going on today and how they may relate to the prophecies that we heard in Revelation. Okay? Or Jesus gave us these prophecies. When we read Matthew 24, we see the same thing. Okay, and I said that in my last video. We see the same thing. Jesus himself quoted Isaiah's prophecy that the sun will darken, the moon will, I think some say blood red, some say lose its shine. Some, then the next one is, and the stars will not shine either, and the stars will fall from the sky. Okay? And again, next one is the sky will roll up like a scroll. That's what they're saying. Now, that's not all. There's more things. If you know prophecy, there's more things that tells you, wait a minute, this is catastrophic stuff coming. Oh, it says that every island and every mountain will be moved out of its place. Now, people, how is that going to happen? How is that going to happen? That is catastrophic. Now, am I trying to fearmonger? No, I'm not trying to fearmonger. Okay? Not trying to scare people. But it is going to happen. And what are the people doing? They are fear. They are fearful. Okay? They're so scared. They're hiding in the caves and say, fall on us because the wrath of God is coming. So, you don't want to hear about that? Well, then just turn off my video right now and continue to live in bliss and thinking that everything's going to be okay and everything's going to continue just the way it's going to continue. I am not saying that all the things people say about the 3 days of darkness is correct. I'm not saying that, okay? But is there a possibility that there will be 3 days of darkness? Well, there can be, okay? We don't know for sure if it's 3 days. Let's say it's 2 days, okay? Let's just assume it's 2 days. 2 days of darkness. Let's assume it is 1 day, one full day where all of the world is dark. Okay? All of the world. It is not just a solar eclipse. Okay? But something moves in front of our sun. Something causes it to go dark. Pitch dark. Okay? And that's something that moves in front of our sun to make it pitch dark. People wake up. Okay? Because this is not just, oh, we're going to have a solar eclipse. And everybody's looking into the sky and saying, oh, how wonderful. The last solar eclipse we had, I saw people flocked to the areas where we had the solar eclipse. Okay? It was last year or year before last. Okay? We went up to Wyoming from Colorado to just see the solar eclipse. Okay? The roads were packed. It was not anything horrible, severe, or whatever. Okay? But if this is happening with this darkening of the sun, the moon is going dark, the stars will lose their shine because there's something in front of the sun, and the stars are falling. Why are the stars falling? Why do we have meteorites falling out on our earth? Okay, tell me that. I know right now we have a lot of fireballs. If you're awake, okay, and you listen to real news, you will know how that we have more and more fireballs. Okay, and really fireballs, not just meteorites, a meteorite shower or whatever. No, fireballs, okay? Huge. You can see them during daylight, and some of them have crashed and have shaken things up. So we're having that right now. But when this event is happening, the sixth seal, it's going to be worse. Okay? It's going to be worse. And it's only going to be an introduction to the wrath of God. It is telling people the wrath is coming. Now, why in the world do people know the wrath of God is coming? Why do they know the wrath of God is coming? Why? Because the government already knows. And many people already know that something is coming. Okay? I have said that in my last video. Something is coming. Is it Nibiru? You can laugh all you want and say, oh, Nibiru is not in the Bible. So why should we believe in Nibiru? I'm shaking my head because read again the wrath of God, the 7 trumpets and the 7 bowls, and see all the things that are going to happen. Okay? And then you tell me why these things are happening that happened. Okay? I already said that we are going through these catastrophic cycles every 3,200 years. We don't even know for sure. Why? Because the government is hiding it. That's why. Let's just really talk about that. The government is hiding it. And, oh, it's not in our Bible. Yeah, it is in our Bible. But it is really not addressed as catastrophic cycles. We know about Noah's flood. Okay? The people explained it as, well, God did it. Yes, God did it. Okay? He put everything in place from the beginning of time. And he put in place that every 3,200 years, because he knows how corrupt we're getting as humankind, that something is going to happen. He knows that. So he put that in place. He has put a destroyer, and that's how some call it, a destroyer in place, because he knows we're getting out of hand every so often. So what do we have? We had the flood destroying everything. Okay? So how did the flood happen? How can you explain why we had a flood? Oh, he let it rain. Okay. Really? I mean, I think we're a little further with our science and with our understanding, with our knowledge that we know something catastrophic happened in order for the flood to happen. Then we go to Moses. And the things that happened, the plagues that happened during Moses' time, like the dividing of the Red Sea. How did that happen? Oh, Moses put the stick out. Well, it's possible. But is it also possible that maybe God really timed things just correctly and this whole thing happened? Is that maybe possible as well? Yeah. How about the blood red water that happened during Moses' time? What about the people, the firstborn of the Egyptians that were killed and all the Hebrews were not? Okay? It's not saying that everybody got killed. Okay? Not all Egyptians got killed, but some did. Okay? And the Israelites weren't. Why? Because God told them to stay inside the house and close the door and the windows and put the blood of Christ on the door so the angel of death will pass. Well, that's the way they explained it. I mean, he could have not explained, oh, there's this, planet X that's coming in and it's going to cause all this stuff. He couldn't explain it to them like that. Why? Because they're limited understanding. Now, do we understand that today? Yes, we do. Okay, so people, open your eyes. Not just what's in the Bible is going to happen out there. If your weatherman is saying, hey, tonight you guys are going to have a snowstorm coming in, and you're going to be snowed in for 3 days. Get ready. We will not get to everybody. Make sure you have food there, water, blah, 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 everything. Be ready. Close your stuff. Well, you just going to say, oh, he must be demonically possessed. And just say, no, you know what? I think he's stupid. It's not in the Bible. I can't read it. So why would I follow the weatherman? Okay? Start thinking. I am not saying that everything that is out there on the internet, on YouTube, about the 3 days of darkness is correct. And it is very possible that many false teachings are out there. Now, do we have a lot of false teachings out there about the end times? Oh, yes, you bet. You bet. You bet there is a lot of false teaching out there. Lots of false teaching. Okay? There's lots of evangelical people that have been brainwashed and deceived for years. And they really think they know it all. I have said it in my last video, this whole idea that there is going to be a tribulation at the end, 7-year tribulation at the end with the Antichrist, okay, is false. And it will distract people. It will distract them again from what is going to happen next. What is going to happen next, people, is the rapture. And right following the rapture is going to be the wrath of God. And this 3 days of darkness could be, and I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it could be part of the darkening of the sun. Okay? I'm not saying it's 3 days. I'm not saying it's 2 days. I'm not saying it's 5 days. I'm not saying anything. I am saying this darkening of the sun may not be just a 5-minute or a 2-hour or even a 5-hour happening like a solar eclipse. Because I don't believe it is a solar eclipse. It is something catastrophic. Catastrophic. Okay? Catastrophic. And if people say, oh, there's going to be demons outside, or is there going to be something outside that is harmful, it is possible. Why? Because what was Moses telling the Hebrews? What did God tell the Hebrews? Hide yourself in the houses. Why? Because the angel of death is going through the town. Okay, that's the way he explained it. Now, can that happen again? Yes, it can. Why? Because the same event or the same thing has caused the flood, the same thing that has caused Moses' plagues is going to happen again. Okay? So start doing some research. What is that thing that may cause this whole thing again? Many scientists are talking about catastrophic cycles right now because that is true. Okay? We know, scientists know, we went through catastrophic cycles. Okay? That is not false teaching or fear-mongering or anything. They're saying be prepared. Just like people say, well, the big one in California is coming. And I'm talking about the earthquake. The big earthquake is coming. Why? Because they are coming periodically. Okay? And we're overdue for a big one in California. So are you going to say, oh, that is not in the Bible. This big one in California is not in the Bible. So who cares? We're not going to be prepared. Well, our government is not doing that. They are prepared. They're preparing people for big ones. Why? because they're going to come. Okay? So, why are we now then saying, oh, this is just bogus? I am not saying follow these people. And a lot of things that they're saying is probably most likely wrong. I am not following, so I don't know the garbage they're telling you. I don't know. Okay? Do this, do that, have, pray the rosary, whatever they're saying. I don't know. But one thing I can tell you right now, when you see these things, if ever, because I know we're going into this sixth seal, okay? There is no doubt. We're not having these 7-year tribulation time. We're now in the 7 years. We're now in the tribulation time, okay? These 7 years of tribulation don't even exist. Don't even exist. And people believe it so in their brains. They believe it. That's the truth. There's going to be 7 years of tribulation. But what about if that's not even the truth? And then all of a sudden the rapture happens and you're not ready. Okay? What then? How many people do we have that are arguing over when the rapture happens? Pre-trib, post-trib, mid-trib, who cares? I'll tell you right now, you be ready. No matter what, be ready. And then I had somebody saying, well, be ready for the tribulation time. Yeah, we have to be ready for tribulation. We have to be ready for tribulation all the time. We're lucky. We're living in some pretty good times. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be ready. But what we really should be ready, is our bridegroom coming. That's what we need to be looking forward all the time. And if that is within a period of darkness, okay, if that is within a period of darkness, and again, do you know how long that darkness will last? That Jesus was talking about in Matthew 24 and Revelation 6. Do you know how long it lasts? You don't know how long it lasts. You don't know exactly what's going to happen during that time. Now, wouldn't you think it is a good thing to be prepared, at least somewhat prepared? And say, hey, maybe it's good to have water. Right? We should be ready for at least a week of ration. The government is telling us to be prepared. The government is telling us, okay? Why would we ignore that? Why would we ignore it? Oh, the government, they don't know what's in the Bible. They don't know what Revelation is saying. They don't know what prophecy. Why would we listen to, the government? The Bible is not telling us to get anything ready. I mean, any smart person is ready and has, at least is prepared for, I would think a month is important to be prepared. So when something happens, and you're seeing something in the sky, like you see these northern lights. In the last video, I just couldn't come up with that name, northern lights or aurora borealis. I couldn't come up with the words. So if you see anything weird in the sky, I think red is another warning sign in the sky. If you see the sky blood red, okay? Because see what people say, and they know it from times past, because this planet system, this Nibiru, this planet X, whatever it is, do some research and find out what it is. Okay, when this coming through, it has some iron plasma around it, or iron dust that makes things red. Okay, makes it could make the atmosphere red. We may go into a debris which comes with the system, and we may have to go through that. And that may be actually what is causing the maybe bad gases or whatever. I don't know. This one lady is saying, well, if all the wicked people are killed, nobody's going to be left. Well, I would think not every person will stay outside. Okay? I cannot imagine that people will stay outside in thick darkness. Now she's saying, well, how about the homeless? Maybe not everybody gets killed, which is very likely that everybody doesn't get killed, but lots of people will. Okay, lots of people will get killed. Okay, it will be a really catastrophic event. With all the things happening, it will be. And then after this sixth seal, it's not finished. Then the real wrath will come. And how many people will die during that time? People are saying, oh, the Antichrist will come. No, the Antichrist is here right now. Once the wrath of God really starts, yes, the government may step in and ration food and may require for everybody to have a chip. Okay, or the mark of the beast, whatever you call it. That is very possible. Okay, during the wrath of God, it may be very well possible that the government comes up with something like that. And people will be short in food anyways. And so then they are more likely to even get this mark of the beast. It's very possible. Okay, it's very possible. I have talked about this in my videos. So kind of go back and watch my videos again. I am not telling you fear-mongering stuff. I'm telling you to be prepared. And the most important thing to be prepared is for the rapture. You need to have your oil in your lamp. Read the 10 virgins, the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 foolish didn't have their oil. Okay? I don't care if you don't have any white candles. I don't even care if you don't have any drink. But if anything happens, if there's going to be 3 days of darkness, just be on the safe side. And that's all I'm saying. Be on the safe side. Be inside. And maybe just remember that maybe during this time, the rapture will happen. Because the rapture will happen in a twinkling of an eye. Twinkling of an eye. Bang. Okay? And you will be gone. Now, if you are left over after that event, guess what? Then you will be in deep, deep doo-doo. That's all I'm going to tell you. Because the wrath of God is poured out in full measures. Full measures. There is no holding back. Okay? If you think it's bad, that's fear-mongering, I can't help you. Cannot help you. But it's going to be bad. But right now, you have the chance to think about these things and maybe prepare. Okay? Because we don't know how many of these devastating things we have to go through. Okay? That's another thing why I think it is important to listen to this 3 days of darkness. What is going to happen? It can happen. Okay? I'm not, again, saying pray your rosary. Okay? I'm not saying this and blah, blah, blah. I think it's good. It's good that we're going to go hide in a room and we close the room and, put something in front of the window for the purpose. And I don't know if there's going to be demonic forces. It is possible. Okay? Why? Because during that time, the rapture is going to happen. Okay? And Satan will have to cover up the rapture as much as possible. So when he creates havoc, then when the rapture is over, he can divert from this rapture. See, when we had this guy write about Left Behind, it was all too rosy, and I think it's really very it was unrealistic. Okay, very unrealistic. What's going to happen if there's really going to be these things happening that I described or that John described in Revelation and Jesus in this prophecy? What really is going to happen is going to be a devastating thing, and at the end, lots of people will be dead. Okay? Lots of people will be dead. Okay? And it will not be any believers. The believers don't have to worry because the believers are going to be gone. They're going to be raptured. If there's really demonic forces out there, they cannot do anything to the believers. True believers. Remember, half of the virgins will not make it. Okay? So think about that. Half of the Christians that call themselves Christians will not make it. Okay? So they will be behind. But the true believers that really have Messiah as their bridegroom and follow him and are connected to him, they will be gone. They will be gone. No demons will do anything to them. But I am not quite sure about the gases that are outside. Okay? And that doesn't matter either. Because even if we die, we're going to be resurrected right away anyways. So it really doesn't matter for us, but it may matter to your loved ones. Because your loved ones may not all be saved. And if they're not saved, it may be good for them to be inside in a safe place. Okay? And that may exactly be maybe a way for them to realize what has happened, that Jesus really came for the people that were raptured. If I have my daughter in my house and my granddaughters or my son and whoever, and they're not true believers, okay? And they see me gone, and they're realizing what I told them, that they have to come in, and hide and be protected inside. And when they see that, they may just accept Jesus as Messiah. Now, of course, they're not going to be part of the bride of Christ anymore. That's right. If you are not going to be raptured, you're not going to be part of the bride of Christ. But you have a chance to either make it through the wrath or die and be resurrected. Well, enough. I think I'm going to come to the end today. And I know I will not be done with this subject, especially because I want to bring in other things that are going on today and that people really need to know about the end times. Remember, we are having puzzle pieces. I think everybody is familiar with jigsaw puzzles. We're having these puzzle pieces. And these puzzle pieces are not just from the Bible, but these puzzle pieces are from many different sources. Especially nowadays, we have to look at the signs. Okay? Signs. What are the signs? And there's many, many signs. And we have to put all these things together. And they have to fit. You can't just hammer a puzzle piece in this spot where it doesn't fit. Okay? And a lot of people are doing that. They're putting these puzzle pieces together in the wrong place. They're similar. And so they fit it in there. But there's lots of false teachers out there. Lots of them. And if you think that the Antichrist has not come, then you will be even more deceived. Because the Antichrist is the one that has deceived many people with false doctrine. So I'm really going to come to an end. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. My goodness. My guinea pig is just running around like a crazy thing. So anyways, I'm coming to an end. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. And I will definitely make another video about the 3 days of darkness and the signs that are right now in front of us. Make no mistakes. Keep your eyes open. And there's a guy that says, keep your eyes open to the sky. Okay? Because things will happen in the sky. And when you see things happening in the sky, know that Jesus is near. Jesus is near. Okay? All right.